Greg, I guess a sad day for Australian cricket. How would Terry Jenner be remembered, do you think?
It is a very sad day for Australian cricket. Terry, I've known for a long time. Our cricket careers ran side by side for a long time, and I was living in Adelaide when he moved over to Adelaide from Western Australia, so we spent a lot of time together in those early days. Terry will be remembered for a lot of things, I think, but most importantly for his humour, and he was a great raconteur, a very, very good coach, more than useful cricketer in his own right. Perhaps didn't reach the heights that he would have liked to have reached, and perhaps could have reached. But he played cricket at the highest level with some success, and in the second half of his life, turned himself into a wonderful cricket coach, not just a spin bowling coach. And I think his success in that area was really a lot to do, with his experience, but he was a great communicator and a very good motivator. I think Warnie talks about some of the early times with Terry and how he gave him the confidence to want to go that bit further with his bowling. So I think most people that will think of Terry will remember him very much around his humour and his great ability to communicate.
Is he a bit of a sort of lovable rogue, I guess, and the fact that he was able to connect with Warnie, does that speak a bit about his character?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's fair to say that TJ was a lovable rogue, and there was always a bit of fun just around the corner wherever TJ was. He had his challenges in life, but I think the way he handled those was also indicative of his ability to laugh at himself and his ability to be able to be positive and look forward. So I think certainly my memories are just reflecting on it in the last few hours. He and I vied for a place in the final 11 in what turned out to be his first Test match. I was 12th man, and his last Test match was my first Test match as captain of Australia. So I shared a few of his highs, a few of his lows. I was also at the non-strikers end when he got hit in the head by John Snow at the Sydney Cricket Ground. I always thought there was a single in it, but TJ never responded.
A lot of us have only ever sort of seen TJ the coach. I mean, as a player, as someone to tour with, what was he like in the change rooms, that sort of thing?
Oh, he was always very good company, a very good person to have around the team. I think most spin bowlers have got to have a sense of humour. It's a tough gig bowling, particularly leg spin, but any spin in Australia I think is hard work. So those that tended to do it generally had a sense of humour of some sort. Some of them were quite macabre, but TJ was generally fairly positive and was good company. As I said before, there were very few dull moments when TJ was around.
It seems amazing that with the esteem that he's held by spin bowlers that he only played actually 9 tests.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that he was able to relate to spin bowlers was that he'd been through the mill, and he'd found it pretty tough himself as a spin bowler. It's not an easy art, and I think there were times that TJ probably didn't have the confidence in himself that perhaps he was able to imbue in others as a coach.
Could you, look, for younger generations, it's his influence on Warnie that people remember. Can you sort of describe how much of an influence he was on Warnie and why he was able to do it?
Yeah, look, I think Warnie would probably be the only one that could give you the full story on it, but having been peripherally around the place when it was happening, I think they gelled well because personalities were very similar. I think TJ could relate to Warnie's personality and the fact that he perhaps wasn't one that handled authority very well, because TJ never did. So I think there was that sort of compatibility, but also I think because TJ had found spin bowling pretty tough and had obviously thought a lot about it and what was important about it, and first and foremost, apart from having skill obviously, and Warnie had plenty of that, was to have the confidence to back yourself and to trust what you had. And there were probably times in his own career where TJ didn't do that, and having learned from that experience, I think that helped him greatly when he was talking to others, but particularly someone like Shane Warne.
And Greg, possible, could we just get a couple of words from David Boone as well, and his appointment to the ICC referee's position and loss to Australia as a selector?
Well, it's really, I think this is a day for TJ. I mean, you know, I'd be happy to talk about that tomorrow if you like. But today I think it's really about Terry Jenner and you know, the legacy that he's left to Australian cricket. So you know, it's a sad day for Australian cricket. It's a sad day for cricket generally, and obviously a very sad day for Terry's family.
Greg, it seems like the 70s team, they keep popping up in the press and in the public, and years afterwards they seem to have a bond that maybe teams before or after didn't have. I mean, do you think him being a love figure of that 70s side, do you think this is going to hit all those guys very hard?
Oh yeah, look, I think everyone that knows Terry will certainly feel it very deeply today. Look, I think all good sides have a pretty good rapport and relationship. I mean, you know, having known most of the guys that went on the 48 tour, and some of them thankfully are still alive today, they've got a pretty good rapport as well, and I know the team since then also very strong. Look, you share a lot, you share the highs and you share the lows. You get to know each other pretty well when you spend so much time together in dressing rooms. I mean, I joked many years ago that I'd probably slept with Rod Marsh more often than I'd slept with my wife. I didn't mean that in a figurative sense, but you know, we'd spend a lot of time together travelling and away from home together, and there's no place to hide on a cricket ground or in a dressing room. So you get to know each other pretty well. You appreciate you know, what makes somebody tick, and you know, people that have reached that level of any sport, I'm sure, you know, have been through some highs and lows, and they found out a lot about themselves, and you know, that's why I think you build such strong bonds when you spend that sort of time together.
I guess what I mean, people like TJ having been inside for a while, and Gus having illness problems.
Yes.
You know, just from the outside, you see that these guys from the 70s side are sticking with these guys.
Yeah, look,
30, 40 years later.
well, you know, I hope we do. I mean, I think it's important because we did share a lot of things together during our cricket careers, and some of us, you know, outside of cricket as well. So, as I say, you get to know each other pretty well, and it is a strong bond that's hard to break.
Thanks
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure, guys. Thank you.